So entire cities under lockdown, big ticket companies on their knees. And what does China do? Spin the narrative. 2021, 2022, it doesn't matter. The Chinese propaganda machine continues to roll on. They released a new video. The setting is the icy peaks of the Galwan Valley. Or at least that's what China claims. Their propaganda films are not exactly famous for accuracy. What does the video show? A ceremony of sorts. A few PLA soldiers are standing in formation. They have unfurled a massive flag of the People's Republic. You can hear chants, slogans. It's basically communist hyper-nationalism on steroids. But what's the occasion? Well, this is China's way of saying Happy New Year. How neighborly. Elsewhere, the sentiment was different. Indian and Chinese soldiers were exchanging gifts in eastern Ladakh and Sikkim. They swapped sweets and greetings on New Year. Now, all of us got gifts this holiday season. Maybe some of you found those gifts confusing or pointless. Well, spare a thought for these soldiers then. We're talking about sub-zero temperatures. Sweets are not smooth and succulent there. It's more like a pebble. I know some of you might say that it's the gesture that counts. Well, I would say it's the intention that counts more. You can't exchange gifts in Ladakh while claiming territory elsewhere. That's what China is doing in Arunachal Pradesh. Beijing has always claimed sovereignty over this Indian state. They call it Southern Tibet. And last week they sought to reinforce their claim. How? By renaming places in Arunachal Pradesh, or rather reinventing names. China's Civil Affairs Department has quote-unquote standardized names of 15 locations. These include 8 residential regions, 4 mountains, 2 rivers and 1 mountain pass. Now remember, these are Indian lands. Indian citizens live there, but China wants to rename them. How has the Indian government reacted? Let me quote from what the government of India said. Arunachal Pradesh has always been and will always be an integral part of India. Assigning invented names to places in Arunachal Pradesh does not alter this fact. No arguments there. Arunachal Pradesh is an integral part of India. Naming or renaming places does not change that fact. So why is China doing it? Because stunts like these are good publicity back home. Any stunt, in fact. We've shown you 2 images today. 1, the parade at Galwan, and 2, the sweet exchange in Sikkim. Chinese state media has been pushing both these videos. They have been viewed by millions of people, or millions of times, on Chinese social media. The fact is, the Chinese public loves it. Soldiers shouting in sub-zero temperatures, a massive Chinese flag being unfurled near the border. All of this is theatre, jingoistic theatre, and we shouldn't be surprised. Because this is how autocratic regimes work. They hide domestic failures with foreign policy muscles. China's Wuhan virus cases are rising again. Its biggest companies are falling off the global radar. Xi Jinping's crackdown on everything is becoming unpopular, so his propaganda machine goes into overdrive. It's straight off the dictator's manual. As for China's real intentions, it's more complicated. China had many chances, really, to resolve the border standoff with India, but they did not. They wanted to keep India occupied. They wanted to keep the line of actual control active. Just look at their recent actions. Around 20 months of standoff, 20 months, 13 rounds of military talks. India has consistently pushed for complete pullback. But China continued to block. They have amassed more than 50,000 troops near the border. They're building airports, roads and bridges. They've deployed rocket launchers, bombers and missiles. But recently, there have been overtures too, subtle yet significant overtures. On the 7th of December, India's outgoing ambassador to China met with Foreign Minister Wang Yi. The talks were unexpected but welcome. Both sides praised the uninterrupted line of communication even during crises. Then there is bilateral trade. Standoff or not, India-China trade continues to grow. In 2021, it crossed $100 billion, out of which Chinese exports make up around $87 billion. The fact is, China needs the Indian market. Hence the subtle outreach. The question is, how should India respond? It's a tough question. It's not an easy call. On the one hand, you have jingoistic videos from Galwan, villages renamed in Arunachal Pradesh, and heavy deployments along the LAC. On the other, you have such nimble overtures. India has two choices here. One, pursue an unlikely mission for peace. Or two, keep the pressure on Beijing. To make matters worse, it's election season in India. Foreign policy has nothing to do with state elections, but politicians find a way to talk about it. The video from Galwan is creating a buzz, a lot of buzz in fact, on social media. Opposition parties want the government to react aggressively. But if they do, peace will continue to be stalled. I know it's not an easy call, but I guess that's why politicians get all of this attention. Taking tough calls is their job. So we'll keep tracking the story. In the meantime, wrapping with another propaganda video. Ridiculous does not even begin to cover it. Perhaps China's got the wrong calendar. It's not April Fool's Day yet. Look at this. WION is now available in your country. Download the app now and get all the news on the move.